Good morning, everybody. Whew, I just sneezed. This is the time of year, it's getting so cold now, at least here in Washington State, that our heat is on almost constantly. And when that happens, the air, it gets very dry. And when that happens, it causes my nose, my sinuses to kind of dry out. And it leads to me basically sneezing a lot. So I just sneeze pretty bad. And likely that means, you know what, my postnasal drip is going to kick in pretty heavily. So prepare for that. For those who watch the streams, you'll know what I'm talking about. I apologize in advance. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream. Today is Thursday, the 3rd of December, 2020, and I welcome you all here to the stream. I hope you guys are in a good mood and you're excited for a full day of gameplay streaming. Certainly a variety of stuff today with what we'll be doing. I'm very happy to be playing what I'm playing today. Because I think this will be some viewer favorites, things that people have been asking me to play, versus games that I'm enjoying, but sadly, not my entire viewing audience is really into. So, that's great. I also have some spicy takes here on the pre-stream today, which I'm sure are going to trigger some people, and I'm sure the detractors will capture these spicy takes just to recut them and edit them to make them sound like something they're not. And, talk shit about me on the internet as usual. The usual. Trigger warning. So how's everyone doing? Hopefully you're doing well. And you're ready for another fun full day of new release gameplay streaming here today. Exclusively on the PlayStation 5. Ever since PS5 came out, it's all I've been playing on. Almost 3 straight weeks now. There's really no reason for you to play on any other console right now. So, pretty good in that regard, and I've really been enjoying the console, as you guys know. 1 week until the release of Cyberpunk 2077. And undoubtedly, once the game releases, it's all anyone's going to talk about, and it's all anyone's going to want to see on my streams. Don't worry, I will be playing a ton of the game upon its release. I will still balance it with every other thing that I'm playing. But, the whole point here is that I know people are going to want it a lot. And so what I'm trying to do in this next week is get as far as I possibly can, if not even finish up games, so that we don't have a lot of lingering stuff that becomes unfinished, lingering game playthroughs before I almost said Last of Us 2, wow. Because someone just typed it in the stream chat and I read it. Before Cyberpunk comes out. Okay? So, we'll talk about that in a second, the gaming schedule. But also, it's 1 week until the Game Awards, which for some people are huge hype and the biggest thing about this gaming year. And for others, they just don't give two flaming shits. Usually, I'm in the latter category because I realize that they're just PR. They don't mean anything. Sadly, every year more and more people seem to think that they have merit. So, yeah. That's a problem, especially with the way that they're determined, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. But anyway, hope everyone's in a good mood. And I hope you all are excited for the gameplay stream today. Now let's talk about the schedule. First of all, I am pleased to announce that today's first gameplay stream is the return of Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon to a major gameplay session. Yes, when Yakuza 7 first came out, over 3 weeks ago, I was playing it pretty frequently as a main gameplay stream. But then, when all the PlayStation 5 games released along with the console, the game really took a back seat. In fact, in the last 2 weeks, I've only played it like twice. And the sessions were long. They were 3+ hour late night sessions. But still, in 2 weeks, only playing it for 6 hours, there's barely been any progress at all in the game. Okay? So now that we've beaten multiple games, including Astro's Playroom, Bugsnax, and Spider-Man Miles Morales, and the fact that we're very close to the end of Demon's Souls, I decided to return Yakuza 7 to the main gameplay streams, and that's where it will stay for now. I don't know if I'll ever, put it back onto the night streams, but for now, I feel that it is a game that's good enough to stay as a main gameplay stream for now. Alright? I hope you guys like it. People were asking me constantly to constantly to put things back to the major gameplay stream because they were disappointed that basically I was only playing it at night on late night streams. Okay, they felt it wasn't getting enough attention, it wasn't getting enough play, especially with how long the game is. People were like, man, I really want more of it, and here you are playing games we're not super excited for. Okay, so I'm pleased to be bringing it back to the main gameplay streams, and it will be a main gameplay stream. I'm playing it several times this week. I'm playing it today, I'm playing it Saturday, I might play it Monday. So that's a lot of progress if it's the main gameplay stream that often, okay? We'll see what happens. It really depends on what happens with Demon's Souls tomorrow, which we'll talk about in a moment. So, where were we in Yakuza 7? Well, if you remember, we had just gotten our 4th party member, a bartender. What was her name? Psycho? Or it's either Seiko or Psycho. The reason I remember that is because I was wondering if it was supposed to be a play on words. See, like she's crazy, Psycho. Or if it's pronounced Seiko, I'm not sure. It might be Seiko, in which case none of that makes any sense. But I'm excited to continue the game. From what I'm going to understand, if we actually do go into the story of the game today, which I am planning on doing because the last session we played was almost all side content. Today we're supposed to get into story developments where we're going to unlock the job system, okay? Which I'm excited for because that's the meat of the game. You know, all the trailers and the preview footage of the game show that you can have a different job for your character that changes up their combat style completely. And I'm very excited to see what that's going to do, okay? So this should be fun today. Hopefully we do get a good tear into the story and we unlock the job system and we get to see exactly what everyone's capabilities are in the game, all right? So there you go. I'm excited for today's stream. Later tonight, it's more Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. And for those of you who watch my stuff frequently, some of you may be excited, and some of you may be shocked, because some of you may be noticing I'm playing a lot of this game, right? You want to know why? I like it. Unlike the last 2 to 3 years of Call of Duty gameplay that's come out, I really like this game. In fact, I'd say the last Call of Duty game that I actually significantly liked the multiplayer was World War II, Call of Duty World War II, right? I remember I played a lot of that. And then Black Ops 4 I did not like, and Modern Warfare I did not like, okay? So I'm actually playing a significant amount of gameplay of this game because I really enjoy it. Now, eventually, I may go and actually try out other modes like Zombies or Warzone, but I'm not bored of the multiplayer. You know, I play about 2 times a week, sometimes 3, and I'm enjoying it so much that I have no reason to even try the other modes. That's a good thing. That's a great sign, okay? So I hope you guys are enjoying the multiplayer, and more of that later tonight. Some people enjoy it because they like seeing me play a competitive game, and some people just like hearing the salt when I die. So, for either reason, you're perfectly welcome to the late stream tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, okay? Tomorrow, Friday, we continue on with Demon's Souls. I'm currently on World 5-2, which is a major pain in the ass because it's a dirty, disgusting swamp full of poison. It's a major pain in the butt because you can't really see where you're going. You don't really know clearly where you're supposed to go. And I've had some pretty bad luck, either running in the wrong directions, dying by silly stuff. But we're going to pick it back up where we left off. And, you know, depending on how tomorrow's stream goes, if it goes smoothly and I beat 5-2, you know, pretty easily, I can then head on to fight more bosses and maybe even get to the end of the game. All right, but it really depends. It really depends on how things go. I mean, it could be a slower stream. If we need an extra stream, another major stream of Demon's Souls to beat it, I'm okay with that. If that's the case, then it would likely be Sunday. Yes, Sunday. And then that would be the conclusion of the game. But let's see what happens tomorrow, okay? So Demon's Souls tomorrow, and then Friday night, more Assassin's Creed Valhalla, okay? Now, Saturday, more Yakuza 7. As I said, I'm playing Yakuza 7 as the main gameplay stream a lot coming up. So I hope you guys like Yakuza 7 because you're going to get a lot of it. So more Yakuza 7 as the main stream on Saturday. Saturday night, as long as everything goes according to plan, all right, I'm going to be getting Sackboy's Big Adventure. That is the platforming game starring Sackboy, the main character of Little Big Planet. Now, it doesn't have the game creation tools of Little Big Planet. It's just its own independent platforming game. This was a launch title for the PlayStation 5, but I skipped it because I was playing Astro's Playroom, which was a free game included with the console. I certainly didn't think that I needed to play two cutesy-style platformers at once. But people told me I really missed out, that it's actually a really enjoyable game that shows off the capabilities of the PS5, haptic feedback and the like. So, I'll be starting that up, hopefully, as long as everything goes according to plan. What I mean by that is, as long as the streams between now and Saturday are supportive and I can afford it and everything, I'll be doing that on Saturday. Okay? Sunday, like I said, likely it's going to be another major stream of Demon's Souls, and that's likely going to be the completion of the game. Alright? Sunday night, probably more Assassin's Creed No, excuse me. I'm wrong there. It's going to be more Sackboy. I said I'm going to play Sackboy for 2 straight days. Okay? So that's going to be Sunday night, more Sackboy. Then on Monday, more Yakuza 7. So yes, that's correct. As long as I don't change the schedule for some reason. That's 3 major streams of Yakuza 7 this weekend. That's going to be over 10 hours of gameplay into the game. So hopefully we get way further into the game by the end of this weekend. Okay? And then, Monday night will be more Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer to end the streaming week. Okay? So that's what I'm planning for this week. Now, Tuesday's my day off. It'll be a very busy Tuesday for me. But then on Wednesday, it's going to be more Yakuza 7. And that night, likely more Assassin's Creed or Sackboy, depending on what I'm feeling like. And then, of course, we all know next week, 1 week from today, on Thursday the 10th, it is the premiere of Cyberpunk 2077. That will obviously become a part of the schedule in a major way. I'll probably end up playing it for several straight days before I even take a break from it. Okay? Alright? Good stuff coming. And I hope you guys are excited. Now, a few things. Immortals Phoenix Rising comes out today. No, I'm not playing it. To me, it's a game that... Is it a new release that I'm interested in? Yes. Is it a new release that's super hyped and I'm like super pumped for? Not really. It's a game that right now I don't want to start up because I know in 1 week's time I'm going to be playing Cyberpunk, and that's going to end up taking over everything I'm doing and be my major focus, alright? So that being said, it would make absolutely no sense for me to take on another new release right now, already in a schedule where I'm playing Yakuza 7, Assassin's Creed, Demon's Souls, Call of Duty, and I'm going to be playing Sackboy, and at some point, not this week, but probably next week, I'll be doing a night stream of Bug Snacks to do a post-game stream. It makes no sense to take up a new release right now. There's no way I would even get any really length into it if I were to take that up. So, the way I'm treating Immortals Phoenix Rising, I'm interested in it, and it is a game that after we get a good tear into Cyberpunk and all of that, maybe in another week or two, after all that happens, maybe then I'll consider playing it, and it would probably be a game that I would play for like the end of the year into January. But it's definitely not something I want to do right now when I'm already juggling so many games that would make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Okay? Expand Dong literally just kind of echoed what I said. He said January has little to no releases. You don't have to rush at all. The games this month besides Cyberpunk can wait. Yes, there's games like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, Immortals Phoenix Rising, and I actually think there was one more that might have already come out that I was interested in, but they're all just going to have to wait. You know, I knew this was going to happen with the insane amount of launch titles for PS5. There was no way I was going to get through them all before all these other titles hit, so we're just going to hold off, okay? By the way, in January, I think the only major game coming out is like Hitman. Isn't it Hitman? The next Hitman game comes out in January? Yeah, outside of that, I don't think there's much at all, so it'll definitely be an opportunity to focus in on these games I did not play, okay? Sound good? Okay. So that being said, everybody, that sounds good, I hope, to you. A good variety of stuff coming up, right? Now, a few updates on upcoming events, all right? First of all, Christmas Marathon is scheduled for the 23rd of December. That is a Wednesday before Christmas. Great event. It's going to be going all day long. I'll be dressed up in festive Christmas attire. I'll be drinking, likely some beer, probably some eggnog, and maybe even some hard liquor, depending. It should be a good time. I'll be playing a variety of games that you guys can currently nominate right now. by typing !Christmas into the stream chat. All right? Please do. I already know I'm going to be playing a couple multiplayer games that day, including Call of Duty and Fall Guys. But outside of that, it'll really be up to you guys to determine what else I play on that day. So please nominate games, all right? In addition, the next day, Christmas Eve, December 24th, will be a special holiday edition of Ask the King, all right? Where I'll be answering your questions right before Christmas, which I'm sure I'm going to end up getting probably holiday-themed questions and stuff, which will be neat. So please post up your questions. I have not yet put a link so that you guys can post up your questions, and I apologize for that. I'm going to do that and implement that so that over the course of this month, the next couple of weeks, you guys can post up your questions for that episode as well. I will do that soon, maybe even as soon as tonight. I'm sorry that I forgot to do that. So that's coming up, all right? Ask the King. Post up your questions on my forums at thekingofhate.com. Excuse me. And I will answer them live during this holiday-themed Q&A show. It should be pretty fun. Okay? Now, this month, the month of December, there will be a subscriber goal for the channel that I'll be trying to hit. And if I hit it, we'll be doing a special event. It's the return of the Retrospective Marathon. This is a marathon where you guys nominate your favorite moments from my 12 years of online content creation for us to go back and watch together. In a lot of cases, it's the first time I've ever seen this footage since the day I created it, because I've been such a prolific content creator. I don't take time to go back and watch my old shit. I just pump out new shit every day. So these events are usually super fun. And in particular, the last time we did one, it created the vest meme and the vest streak. So I'm curious to see what the next retrospective event will do. All right, I haven't done one of these since February, so I think it's about time to do one. So the thing is, I've not yet set up the subscriber goal. You may be wondering why. Because it's the 3rd of December. Obviously, we're 3 days into December. Why am I not setting this up yet? Well, it's very simple. It's because I know for a fact that in the first week of November, we had a lot of gifted subscriptions to the channel, because I had announced then that we were trying to do a subscriber goal to make this Christmas marathon happen. So a lot of people came in and gifted subs to make it happen, and within that first week or so, I remember we hit it, and that locked in the goal. All right? The last thing I want to do... excuse me. The first thing I want to do... no. Let's say this again. The last thing I would want to do is set up a subscriber goal that's not realistic. What if today I said, okay, we're at 830 subs, so let's set up the subscriber goal to be 875 subs, right? And then tomorrow, 100 gifted subs expire. So now we're down to 725, and somehow we're supposed to reach 875. That wouldn't make much sense. Okay? So, I am purposely waiting to see in the next couple of days, will there be a significant dip in the amount of subscribers that we have here on the channel? If there is, then I will make an appropriate goal based on that. But let's say by, I don't know, Saturday, I don't see any significant dip, then likely I'm going to set up the subscriber goal so we can get it going. All right? So many different reasons to subscribe to the channel. I mean, over 40 emotes, not having to watch advertisements when I take an ad break, getting a cool chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter. I mean... I just love post-nasal drip, don't you guys? I mean, it's one of the most fun things ever. It seriously is. Oh my god. I'm sitting here coughing now because the post-nasal drip's going down my throat because I sneezed. I hate this shit. But that's life. That's the body I was given, and I do my best with it. What else can I do, right? All right, so anyway, rather than sit here complaining, let's push on, shall we? Push on positively. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I love live streaming. I absolutely love what I do. I love sharing gaming with you every day, giving you my honest opinions. As you guys know, I am not a sponsored streamer. I do not have an exclusive streaming contract with Twitch that's millions of dollars. I don't have a contract at all. I don't have sponsorships with any company whatsoever. I don't get paid to do anything. All right? I'm not a shill for anybody. I'm an independent guy. You guys love that. And you have supported me for 12 years because of that. Okay? I am purely crowdfunded. It means that contributions during my streams are what keep me alive, and that's how I make my living. That's how I make income, all right? So, if you enjoy these live streams, if you like the fact that I am an independent and I'm not going to shill for anyone, and you enjoy hearing my honesty, my hot takes, and you love the gameplay that I do, please consider contributing to the streams in any of the various ways that you can, including cheering, subbing, or tipping. Those are the main ways that you can contribute, even though I have a Patreon. And I forgot to mention this yesterday. Thank you to anyone who did pledge to my Patreon in the month of November. Those pledges have now processed, and I've sent out messages to those on Patreon.com who are owed perks so that you can message me back and I can get you those perks. Fair enough? Okay. But anyway, yes, if you like the content and you want to see the streams continue to be successful, please consider contributing either by cheering, subbing, or tipping today. All right? They all help. They're all tremendously helpful. If you want to help the most, I do prefer tipping. Tipping allows me to get funds right away to put towards important things. Okay? And, you know, being quite frank, this month, you know, with stuff the way it is, affording new games, coming up in the next week, and, of course, it's Christmas month, you know, things can get a little tight. End of the year, there's a lot of actually bills that come due near the end of the year for me. So, if you tip me, you help me out directly with that, because those are funds I can use immediately for stuff, all right? Tips goals. If we raise $50 in tips, I'll put on the Gunner glasses as a reward. If we raise $100 in tips, which is the tips goal for the stream, you guys get to pick a vest for me to wear. The last vest that I wore was the platinum. So that means the beige, the blue, the red, the gray, and the camo are all eligible as a vest on this stream. All right, guys? I appreciate it if anyone does contribute, but I'll say this up front. Contributions are not mandatory, nor are they expected. I see it as someone going above and beyond just being a stream viewer to contribute to my streams. It's all about just kind of hanging out and having a good time. My streams are free and always will be. But it is greatly appreciated for those of you who go the extra mile to contribute to my streams. So thank you in advance to anyone who does. All right? Thank you for that. All right. Now, let's move on. I have two subjects I'd like to talk about this morning. Both spicy hot takes that I'm sure people will have issue with, but that's fine. I'm used to my words being twisted against me and being said for negative purposes, so whatever. The first thing I have to talk about is that this morning, all of a sudden, in synchronicity, a ton of people, you know, the golden selected streamers and content creators of the internet, the ones that are in good graces with game publishers, etc., all received special care packages from CD Projekt Red for Cyberpunk 2077, including an action figure of John Silverhand, a very special branded stream deck that has the yellow and black color scheme of the game, a bunch of PR materials, you know, so collector's edition shit, you know. Now, surely, absolutely surely, getting that special care package 1 week before the release of the game would not influence those content creators in any way, shape, or form when it comes to their opinions of the game. I mean, why would that happen? Why would sending someone a special bag of swag, right, influence anything about their thoughts about a game? I mean, I couldn't imagine. You know? I mean, why would sending a game console to someone months in advance, completely for free, influence their thoughts about said game console even though they're under an NDA and they can't even criticize it? I mean, why would flying someone out to Europe to a castle for an exclusive hands-on preview of The Witcher 3 influence their thoughts about the game? I mean, why would that happen, right? Right? So anyway, the point I'm making here is people get so into hype and they get so into promotion for these games, they don't realize when they're being advertised to. All right? Literally, every person this morning who posted up a post and said, oh, look at this swag bag that I got from CD Projekt Red, is advertising the game. And you ate the advertisement. You slurped it right up. Oh, delicious. That's all it is paid advertisement. Now, did those people actually receive money? No. They received product. Product is still payment. And they put out the advertisement in conjunction with receiving the product. So, if you watch that kind of content creator, all right, if you support that kind of content creation, you are supporting paid advertisement. You're supporting someone who likely gets most of the stuff that they need for their business completely for free. You're supporting someone who likely, half the time when they're talking, is actually talking under an NDA and probably is kissing a game's butt simply because they benefit for doing so. All right? And it's okay. If that's what you like, that's perfectly fine. You can watch that kind of content and you can eat up as many advertisements as you want. I mean, you could literally sit there on television and just watch ads and ignore the actual shows too. That's up to you if that's what you want to do. Hell, during the Super Bowl, there's people who don't watch the game, they just watch the ads, right? So that's your choice. That's your prerogative in life. You can determine what kind of content it is that you digest. I just want you to be cognizant of what you're doing. You're watching advertisement. You're not watching actual legitimate gameplay or criticism or anything. You are watching paid advertisement if you participate in that kind of stuff. The swag bag of Cyberpunk is meant solely to advertise the game and influence people to think the game is good. That's it. That's the only reason it exists. All right? It's not because CD Projekt Red actually loves these content creators and, oh man, I just want to send some nice stuff to be a nice guy. What are you, fucking stupid? Of course not. They want those people to start talking positively about the game before the game comes out. Okay? So, again, that's fine. If you like that, support it. But be cognizant of what you're supporting. These are people who likely are getting everything they need for their business for free. They probably are contracted to make big money behind the scenes anyway. So think about who you support. People who need the actual crowdfunding to keep afloat versus people who are getting everything for free and are paid advertisers. All right? Just throwing that out there. You do with it what you will. Here come the detractors trying to spin it in a negative way. Phil's salty because he didn't get a swag bag. I don't want an action figure of Cyberpunk. I don't need a Stream Deck because I have one over there, brand new in box that I can't use because I don't have the operating system that supports it. I don't need anything in the swag bag. I don't care about the swag bag. I likely would have been a piece of junk, much like all the loot crates and shit that I got over the years when I had that sponsorship years and years ago. It would have sat around and got thrown out. So I don't need the swag bag. I'm just saying, those who got it and are advertising it today, there's an agenda behind it. Don't be gullible. Okay? Fair enough? Okay. Now, that being said, let's continue. Ladies and gentlemen, as I already mentioned, it's 1 week until the Game Awards. Alright? Now, for some, the Game Awards don't matter. And I'll be honest with you guys. Mostly I'm in that boat. I don't care about the Game Awards because I know that they're PR. The people who vote on the Game Awards are an inclusive group of people who were hand-selected from gaming media, mostly. Every once in a while, they'll pick someone else, but it's mostly just exclusive gaming media who get to vote on the Game Awards, all right? If you're not aware, the gaming media this year outright already said Last of Us 2 is Game of the Year. So to me, the Game Awards don't even matter. We already know Last of Us 2 is going to win Game of the Year. Like, I have no ifs, ands, or buts. Last of Us 2 is winning Game of the Year this year. Okay? There's nothing we can do about it. The gaming media completely kissed this game's butt all year, and it's winning. 1,000,000%. I don't even see a I don't see, like Avengers Endgame or whatever. I don't even see an alternate timeline where it doesn't win. I mean, it's been stacked so much against it. Any other game has no chance. Okay? Now, for me, I don't really care, but the thing is, sadly, there's a ton of people who think the Game Awards are canon decision-making, much like the Oscars for movies. They think that because a game is chosen as Game of the Year at the Game Awards, it's definitively the best game of the year. All right? Of course, that's not the case. Taste is subjective, but some people are just that stupid. They're that gullible. They believe that just because a game wins the Game of the Year award, it's the best game of the year. All right? So that being said, today, just on pure coincidence, right? Naughty Dog, the developers of The Last of Us 2, released a new gameplay trailer for The Last of Us 2, now featuring Abby. You know, that alternate secret protagonist that they didn't want anyone to leak was actually a second protagonist of the game before the game came out. Everyone was under NDAs. They couldn't talk about the game in their review, so they couldn't reveal there was a second protagonist, right? Today they released a trailer. How many months after the release of the game, by the way? 6? Now they released a trailer featuring Abby's side of the story. Okay? Kind of weird. Why would a game studio who already has this game, it's already a million seller, you know, one of the best-selling games of the year, right? Already critically acclaimed. Everyone already knows the story and has either played the game or obviously already knows the story of the game because it's been so dissected and talked about all over the internet. Why would they be releasing a game trailer for the game today? I was curious about this. And then, of course, you know, I follow all the gaming trends on Twitter, and I realized something. As soon as that trailer came out, almost magically synchronized, all the people who pushed this game down our throats all year magically all tweeted at the same time. And they all said, wow, Abby is such a brave and unique character, and good on Naughty Dog for promoting this kind of a story that was so different. They really dared to do something differently and took so many chances. And I'm reading this, it's the voice actors, the same game journalist who kissed the game's butt all year, gave it 10 out of 10, Neil Druckmann himself. Everyone tweets kissing the game's butt in synchronicity. And I'm like, gee, this totally couldn't be something that they planned. No, of course not. This totally couldn't be like something that was a big PR campaign planned by this company. I mean, it's only 1 week until the Game Awards, right? And the other thing that I should mention about the Game Awards, they do actually have a public category. It's called Viewer's Choice, or it's something like that. So you, as a common gamer, you know, not someone who's a gaming journalist, not someone who's a chosen content creator streamer who gets picked to get everything early and then you kiss its butt, but you know, us normal people who actually had to buy the game and play it, and we actually had our own honest opinions about the game, we actually get to vote on the Game Awards. Okay? But not the main Game Awards, because we're not part of the select elitist jury that they select to do that. It's just the Viewer's Choice category. Okay? So for those who aren't aware, all right, last year, Fire Emblem Three Houses won Game of the Year with the Viewer's Choice poll. All right? Far cry from the games that were selected as the top games of the year, right? So, by the jury, I should say. It's almost like the viewers / the actual gamers who have to pay money for their games enjoy games of quality that have tons of content, bang for your buck, and usually aren't in line with the same opinions as game journalists who get everything for free and are looking for artsy-fartsy shit in their fucking games. What a shock. Okay? Now, by the way, I'm not saying that, in my opinion, Fire Emblem Three Houses was the best game of 2019. I just played it this year, and I actually really enjoyed it, and I do feel it was a great game. And honestly, it probably would have made my top 10 games of last year if I had played it last year. But it's definitely not my pick for Game of the Year last year. Okay? But the point I'm making is, when you open up polling to the general public versus journalists with an agenda, all right, you're going to find a huge discrepancy. In fact, as of this morning, the results are Ghosts of Tsushima, or Tsushima, or Tsushima, or however you want to say it, is leading the viewer polling by over 2%. There's 2 or 3 other games that are trailing it by about 2%, including The Last of Us 2 is in there. And in fact, Jeff Keighley this morning said, well, what happens is the voting now will narrow down to like top 5 for the next week once it's determined. I guess. And he did. I think this morning he narrowed down the voting to only be the top 5 games now. Okay? So let me get this straight. The game that basically took the formula of old school Assassin's Creed and did it way better than old school Assassin's Creed, with revolutionary graphical design and world design, such artistic style, a unique and interesting plot line, meaningful characters with their own very cool stories, side content that really mattered. By the way, a game that was not linear in any way, shape, or form, but instead allowed you to explore a world uniquely in the way that you felt like exploring it, right? You know, a game that really went outside the box to try to entertain its people who paid money for it. That's the game people like the most this year? What? I don't get it. But what gender? I mean, excuse me, what gender? What agenda is what I meant to say. What agenda are we pushing with with Ghost of Tsushima? I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. I mean, what are we trying to push here? You know, when I played Ghost of Tsushima, there were no overly strong females that were breaking the mold, right? There was no story trying to convince us that no one is good and there's no true good protagonist in the game. There were no non-mainstream relationships. Oh my god. Actually, there were. If you weren't aware, if you actually played the game, you would know that there's a major plot line that Lady Masako, who's one of the supportive characters of the game, actually had a homosexual relationship with her handmaiden, and that was one of the major reasons why there was an issue with her plotline and her family and everything. But, you know, you wouldn't know that because these journalists probably didn't even play the game that fucking far to find out. Okay? But the point I'm making here is, when you look at things like the Game Awards, all right, and you see such a giant discrepancy between what the journalists say is the best game of the year versus what the common gamer says is the best game of the year, you have to have a little eye-opening experience. All right? So, I'm sorry. For me, The Last of Us 2 is a great game. It's undoubtedly, objectively a great game. There were so many things in that game that were improvements over The Last of Us 1. And I would say, along with Ghost of Tsushima, I would argue that The Last of Us 2, with what it achieved graphically, gameplay-wise, was actually a perfect example of an end-of-generational game for the PlayStation to show what PS4 could actually do, right? I don't think anyone's going to disagree there, unless they're just being kind of an idiot and pig-headed because they didn't like the story, right? But it's not just about that, it's about the overall package. And I did not like the story of Last of Us 2, and therefore, I don't like the game, all right? Now, that's okay to say that, except there's been such a fervor this year from the gaming journalists, from the game developers of Last of Us 2, to make it feel like if you don't like Last of Us 2, you're a bigot, right? You don't like the game because you don't like Abby, because she's not a stereotypical female in a video game. You don't like the game because there's homosexual relationships in it. Actually, no, I don't care about any of that. I applaud having different kinds of characters. Variety is the spice of life. But when the story is misery, 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 gore, 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 and you haven't made a single likable character in the game, when you destroyed the characters from the original game and made them be completely out of character in this one, just to serve a very cheesy narrative that revenge is bad, I don't like your game. It's written in a very immature, very I don't even know how to really explain it in a nutshell because it's too much. I would have made an hour-long freaking review about the damn game. But the point of the situation here is, just because you don't like the game doesn't mean it's because you're a bigot. And people who have valid criticisms of the game this year were very much completely dismissed and being called bigots. I know, because I was one of them. Apparently, I'm a bigot, even though I had no issue with any of those things in the game. How many games this year did I play that had this kind of representation? You know, I played Tell Me Why. I played Bug Snacks. These are all games that have this kind of representation in them. I don't have a single issue with it. None. So, it's funny that you just get grouped in with a bunch of morons who sent death threats to the game devs over this, right? But just because you have a legit criticism, there's no criticism can actually exist, right? No criticism of the game can exist. But anyway, the point I'm making here is, isn't it funny? We're 1 week away from the Game Awards, all right? It's just been revealed that The Last of Us 2 is not the shoo-in favorite for the viewers' pick. It's Ghost of Tsushima by over 2% of the vote. So what happens? Oh, all of a sudden, magically, a second trailer for the game is released for the other protagonist, and every single person who worked on the game, including games journalists, as well as voice actors, as well as the game head of the game themselves, all tweet at once saying the game is so great. I wonder how that happened. It must have just been an extreme coincidence. Right? Anyway. That being said, guys, if you want to vote on the Game Awards, you can. And this morning they did narrow down the categories. I guess what they did is for the viewer's choice, they had like more categories at first. But today they narrowed it down to just the top 5 for the people who had already voted. So you can go vote. However, just to forewarn everyone, Bugsnax was not nominated in a single category, and therefore, because Bugsnax was not nominated, it's obvious that these are all rigged polls, and it's just not valid anyway. So take it with a grain of salt. We all know that Bugsnax is Game of the Year 2020. No one's going to deny that or even argue that fact. There's no way you could. So, that being said, you know, you're basically voting for second place no matter what you're voting on. Okay? Bugsnax absolutely swept every category. So, okay. So, there's my spicy takes for the morning. I'm sure now, as usual, people will spin them to say that I hate, you know, I hate lesbians and I hate manly women and all that. Go ahead. Do whatever you want, you fucking morons. Okay. Let's continue, my friends. So, Avengers was snubbed. That's right. Marvel's Avengers was snubbed. Alright, guys. Let's continue on here. It's time for shout-outs. For those who have already contributed today, which I appreciate very much, except for those who said insulting and disgusting things who I will dismiss and ban from the chat permanently. So we start off with Westside Rascal, who did a 100-bit cheer. He said, I tried to order a PS5 this morning. They sold out within minutes. The site keeps crashing. Scalpers use bots to submit their orders before everyone else, and now they're reselling at double the price. Well, there is a silver lining in all this. Apparently, one website, one retailer, I don't know which one, I think it was one in the UK, actually were able to identify over 1,000 orders for the PlayStation 5 that were made by bots, and they canceled them all and reopened their orders so that normal people could actually buy the consoles. But outside of that, yeah, it's business as usual. It's bad news. Obviously, we don't want this to be happening. But that's our current digital life, right? In a pandemic world, everyone had to pre-order these things online, and it didn't go so well. People had to get super lucky to even get one. And it's bullshit that scalpers were able to use bots to take over most of the pre-orders. Pretty fucked up. But what I will say is this, alright? If you can, please don't buy one from a scalper, man. And I mean it. You are going to be supporting that kind of action and supporting that kind of very immoral business practice if you buy one from a scalper. And I understand there may be some people who are very, very disappointed because they can't get a PS5 this year. They have to wait till next year for the restock or whatever. But I'm telling you, you don't want the scalpers to win in this situation and now just support their practices. You know what I mean? They don't deserve that money. What did they fucking do? Right? You're the only one who loses here is you. Because if this continues and people actually buy from scalpers to support this practice, there's just going to be more and more people who are going to have to get stuff this way. What we want is the retailers to do a better job. We want the retailers to actually have to put processes in place so that real people, customers, get it, not fucking resellers. The problem is, most retailers don't give two fucks. This year was such a bad year for these retailers because of the pandemic. Their sales are all way down, that they just saw this as a way to get quick sales. They don't care who bought it. So they're not going to put CAPTCHA checks in place to make sure you're a real human during the ordering process or whatever, right? So if you do buy from a scalper, you are directly supporting scalping. It's that simple. Don't do it. That's my take on it. Don't do it. Even if it means you have to wait a few more months to get it, be patient. Don't support scumbags. Okay? The Witness by Adam Jones did a 100-bit cheer. So I snagged 35 PS5s and 10 Xbox Series X's. I'm about to sell these bad boys and put food on the table and presents under the tree this Christmas. Congratulations, Witness by Alex Jones. You're such a good person. Okay, of course he's kidding. He cheered again. He said, how about I buy you a new soundboard? The noise making you use needs to go in the trash. What, you mean this one right here? Sounds fine to me. I don't see anything wrong with it. I have a soundboard. I have the Stream Deck, and I can't use it because I'm not using Windows 10. So, 50-bit Quan cheered and said, have you considered replacing your kazoo thing with the Stream Deck? Boy, you are dense. Let's continue. The Witness by Adam Jones cheered. He says, since the PS5 is a weak lineup, why don't you just play Demon's Souls, Cyberpunk, and go back to play some of the games you missed from last gen? We're here for you and not the game. What the hell are you talking about? A weak lineup? Where have you been the last 3 weeks? I swear some people just had their heads shoved straight up their asses or something, and now they finally pulled it out, but they got so much duty stuck in their ears, they have no idea what's going on around them. This is one of the best launch lineups of a console ever. I've been enjoying the shit out of myself the last 2 weeks since the console came out. Actually, 3 weeks now since the console came out. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Shuey701 cheered. He says, Twin Mirrors, Don't Not's first self-published game came out today. Mystery and detective game, but reviews are saying it's pretty mediocre. I love the detective games, and I feel like those are some of your best playthroughs. I didn't even know about this game. Someone talked to me about it on Twitter last night, and I looked into it. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know this game existed. Yeah, you know, I do like those kind of games, and I do feel that they are some of my best playthroughs. I mean, ever since Heavy Rain, right? Is it something I'm doing right now? Absolutely not. What I would say is, let's wait. Maybe later this month, as I said. Once we get into Cyberpunk, once I get much further into Yakuza, and maybe we want some fresh stuff around the second half of the month, maybe then I would consider doing games like that, but certainly not now. And let's face it, if the game is mediocre within 2 weeks, it might be half price anyway, so benefits everyone to wait. Technical 2070 is to me $4.20. This month can't get any better, man. We have the retrospective event, Christmas party on the 23rd. Well, the retrospective event is not this month. The retrospective event, if we do qualify for it, would be probably the end of next month, okay? But we do have, yes, you're right, we do have the Christmas marathon on the 23rd. He says, you're the best streamer to watch, especially during all the amazing content this month. You're up to great work. Thank you very much to Technical 2070. The first tip of the day, and also a very, very nice thing to say about me. Thank you, Technical. So let's update the tips total for now. Very nice, $4. Okay. Bleach number 9 took me $1. Said I enjoy supporting the stream. How come you threaten to stop playing a game if it's not bringing enough positivity and donations? I understand you have a business to run, but it does kind of suck. First of all, I don't threaten to stop playing a game. At all. That's not happened. What you're doing is you're spinning it to be a negative narrative because you're trying to be a dick and make me look bad. Alright? I'm not stupid. I know who you are. Alright? What happens is, I'm playing a game, and if people are not enjoying it as much, I say, well, I got a bunch of other games to play as well that people are enjoying more. So, if I'm playing a game, and constantly during that game, the only people who show up are there to whine about the game and say it sucks, and contributions are slow, while there's another game that I'm playing, and everyone's saying, wow, this game is great, and we want to see you play it more, and contributions are good during that stream, I mean, it's common sense that I'm going to play one game more than the other, right? I never said, oh, I'm just never going to play this game again. What? Never said that. Not at all. So, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, honestly. Besides, you trying to basically twist my words to make me look bad. It's not working, and you look like a stupid idiot. Okay. The 50-bit Quan cheered. He says, do you think that by talking about this, you're actually doing their bidding? By telling us about shills, aren't you kind of giving CD Projekt Red free advertising? No. It's the opposite. I'm opening people's eyes to the fact that every single time that you look at a shill social media post, that's exactly what it is. Because oh, I love this content creator, so I just follow their Twitter. Oh, look, today's posting about this free thing he got. Today's posting about this promotional thing. Yeah, because it's all paid, you know? Whether they're just getting free product or they're actually getting money for it is a moot point. They're still being paid. It's all advertisement. When I open your eyes up to that, it's very much the opposite. Versus me just mentioning something, all right, doesn't mean it's positive spin and advertisement. It's the point I'm making, all right? If you don't understand the difference, I don't know, you know, actually go on the internet and research something for a change instead of just being stupid. Westside Rascal cheered. He says you can upgrade to Windows 10 for free with an active Windows 7 or 8 license. Download the upgrade tool from Microsoft. Windows 10 is more stable and more optimized. False. False. I'm not even exaggerating, all right? In the 6 years, that I have owned this computer and used it nonstop, I think I've had maybe 2 crashes. That is the most stable PC I've ever owned in my entire life. Every other PC I've owned has had more crashes than that. This is seriously a rock. I can't believe this thing, I use it so much. I can't believe this thing's still running and it hasn't died. I can't believe it's not giving me more problems. My desktop PC still is very much working nicely. The only issue is the power is screwed up. If I try to actually shut it down, it won't turn off. I'm serious. The screens go black, but the PC keeps running. I have to press the power button to turn it off for some reason. Don't ask me what that's about. But outside of that, everything else is fine. Someone just said, what about daily OBS errors? Yeah, what about them? That's OBS. You literally just said OBS errors. What the fuck does that have to do with Windows or the PC? Nothing. That's the software, OBS, that has the issue. It would have the same issue on anyone's computer. Okay? This is the best PC I've ever owned. Hands down, bar none. When it comes to performance and when it comes to, stability. Now, yes, I'm going to need to get a new one. The thing at this point is 6 years old. It's outdated. I'd love to get another one where it's going to be able to encode and stream at a higher quality because it has better components and the like. So that's going to happen eventually. But you're absolutely wrong. And by the way, free upgrade to Windows 10, I've already been told that's not true. That expired. You have to pay for Windows 10 now. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. The Witness by Adam Jones Cheers says, to add to your point about companies providing copies of games, streamers are supposed to disclose they received a review copy. I think most of your audience knows to take reviews of games provided by the developers with a grain of salt. I would hope so. It doesn't mean that I still shouldn't call it out to raise awareness of this practice. Okay? Bleach number 9 tipped me another $1. Says, Gamers Rise Up, the Game Awards and Jeff Keighley only exist because we live in a society. There you go. The fuck you're talking about, I have no idea. No, the reason that they exist is something entirely different. But anyway. Jethro's main cheers is the last 10 hours of The Last of Us 2. I kept thinking, is this game over yet? It was a slog fest. Yeah, I mean, let me put it this way. I had a lot of issues with The Last of Us 2's plot. But I was willing to kind of almost forgive all those issues. And then the second half of the game happened. Like, I still liked the game all the way through the halfway point. We were playing as Ellie and all that shit's happening and stuff goes down in the theater. And I was like, all right, well, here we go. And then the game says, oh no, pause the game, go back in time, and replay Abby's story from the start. What? That's just terrible storytelling. I don't want to have to wait another 15 hours to find out what the fuck's going on. All you're doing is you're torturing me. You're teasing me, you're torturing me, and you're making me feel like shit to have to play through her story, because I don't care about her. And it's just terrible writing, terrible storytelling. It really is. Objectively, if you were to be graded on the storytelling abilities that are used in Last of Us 2, you get about a C-. Alright? It's not insanely horribly bad, it's just bad. You know? And it's sad that a C- writing ends up being called, best story of the year by a bunch of fucking idiots who don't academically understand writing. But what can I say? I'm only someone who studied British literature and studied all kinds of literature when I went to school many years ago. But, we don't have teachers who grade games anymore. We just have jokers who have agendas. So, what can you do? 50-Bit Bick cheered. It says, Philly, you want the Game Awards main categories to be able to be voted by fans instead of journalists. Your own forum posts get fake votes. You can imagine how much voting fraud would be if the Game Awards allowed that. True, but it would still be more accurate than having game journalists vote. So there you go. 50-Bit Quan cheers says, I don't hate lesbians. It's one of my favorite categories of video and other website whose content I consume. Well, that's because you're a disgusting freak, and we don't need to hear about your personal practices. Rob on Wheels did 1,000-bit cheer. So I really can't abide influencer culture. People don't want to think for themselves. They just want their opinions made for them. Yeah, because that's the easy way to go through life. Never have an independent thought. Just do what you're told, right? Your politicians tell you how to live your life. Well, actually, it starts with your parents. Your parents tell you what to do and how to behave. Then your bosses at work tell you what to do and how to behave. Then professional reviewers, influencers, celebrities tell you what to do and how to behave, what to consume. And your politicians tell you how to live your life. You just walk around being a cow, bouncing off of the fucking padded walls, and you never take a chance and you never think for yourself. You're just a dunce. Sadly, there's a lot of people on this planet that are just like that. I see them every day. The people who are walking down the street, they can't stop looking at their phones for 2 seconds. And then they walk off the curb and go face first into a gutter. And there's lots of people like that. Consume. And do what we're told. And never actually have to think for ourselves. Because God forbid we actually realize the world isn't a special place where we're all coddled and protected from everything. If anything, this year with COVID, this has been an eye-opening experience for a lot of people who just thought that the world was all rainbows and unicorns. Oh my God, you mean that for the first time in my life, I'm not insulated and protected just because I do what I'm told constantly. I'm still at risk? Yes, stupid. That's real life. So there you go. Jack I Thug Cheers says, are you planning on getting a PS5? I think they're pretty hard to find right now. Absolutely not. I would never get a PS5. Terrible choice. 50-Bit Big Cheers says, it's not retailers or scalpers' faults, it's Sony's fault. If there'd be more consoles, there'd be no secondary market. I mean, I agree there, but I don't really know if there's a limitation. Yeah, who knows what really happened here? We don't have facts, I feel, to say it's anyone's particular fault in that regard. Maybe they wanted to make more and they couldn't because of the pandemic. There's just not enough resources to go around. I'll tell you this. Unlike Nintendo, all right, Nintendo purposely creates a shortage of consoles when they launch a new console. They do it on purpose to create artificial demand so that now their console is in demand for years. They do it on purpose because the number of consoles that sell at launch for Nintendo are so small compared to other companies, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't. It's just they are controlling the market to create this hype around their console sales. All right? But in the case of PS5, this thing sold millions of units on day one. I think that the number was like 2.8 or something like that. Worldwide, it sold 2.8 million units at launch. That's a lot of consoles. So maybe it just was not viable, especially with this worldwide pandemic and resources as they were to manufacture more in time for the console's launch. What are you going to do? Okay? I don't know. I don't know if we could blame Sony on this one. Sony, the only thing you could really blame Sony for directly is their own site, right? Their own direct sales site was also faulty and allowed scalpers to buy the consoles. So in that case, you know, they're at fault if that's the case. But outside of that, I don't know how much you could blame Sony when they manufactured that much. Westside Rascal Cheers said, fair enough, but you could definitely still upgrade for free via the Microsoft website. Then why was I told differently? Earlier this year, I announced I had gotten a Stream Deck. And the reason I wasn't using it is because you had to now pay for the Windows upgrade. And everyone told me, yeah, nothing you can do about that. I don't get it. I just don't know what to believe anymore. But the truth of the matter is I definitely don't want to upgrade my operating system on my existing PC because it's the most stable PC I've ever had. So, Conversalist cheered and said, Phil, I feel offended. I'm not a cow, I'm a sheep. Well, I mean, that's almost as bad. I guess that's almost as bad. Every once in a while, though, a sheep will, like, run off and do its own thing. Cow pretty much just chews its cud and is happy to just stand around and do what it's told. So, let's see here. Here we go. Here's one of the dumbest things I've ever read. Disabled Gamer says, do I think companies are discriminating against my post-nasal drip when they don't want me promoting their product? No, but you know what is discriminating? When I personally pick you out in my stream chat for your stupidity and I ban you, like I just did, with a nice, delicious lean-in manual ban this morning. So enjoy that, motherfucker. This witness by Adam Jones did a 100-bit cheer and said, what are your thoughts on why Microsoft continues to drop the ball on must-have software for the Xbox? I feel as though they think they know everything and refuse to listen to what their fans want. We keep asking them to do one thing and they do the opposite. It's frustrating watching them drop the ball over and over. Do you want to know the truth? My truthful belief is that Microsoft wants to be as good as Sony. All right? They're just inept. I'm serious about this. For example, Microsoft knows what they're doing. They just bought a ton of game studios, including Bethesda. All right? But isn't it funny they bought all these game studios, and it's been how many years, and still no really high-quality games have come out of any of them yet? No system sellers, that's for sure. We're still waiting. Where is the system seller game from a Microsoft Studios that everyone's waiting for, that you need to have a Microsoft console to play? We've been waiting how many years? They bought all these studios, 2-3 years ago? We still don't have one. All right, now, I actually believe they will. This will happen. I think what's happening right now is these studios are getting put into high gear to pump out high-quality first-party games. And with the Xbox Series S and X, this is Microsoft's attempt to actually have a reason to buy their consoles. They wanted to have Halo ready for launch. Not even close. They wanted to have system sellers, but they could not push them out fast enough. Okay? They just couldn't. So what's hilarious about this is there was absolutely no reason for the Xbox Series S or X to even come out at this point. The only benefit you get from owning an Xbox Series S or X right now, okay, is backwards compatibility. Being able to play a tremendous amount of Xbox 360, Xbox One, and original Xbox games on your Xbox Series S and X. That's literally the only benefit of owning the console right now. Outside of that, if you own a PS5, you're getting superior performance in the cross-platform games, and you're getting console-exclusive games. Okay? So, I feel that the Xbox Series S and X were actually rushed out this year because Microsoft felt if they didn't release their console this year, Sony would 1,000,000% grab the market share. They would get the installed the installed player base because they got out there first. So they said, even if we have no games to put out for this thing, we have to release our console the same time as PS5 so that people have a choice. And there will be people who buy our console. Therefore, it's not 0 people have our console. Everyone went and bought PS5. So they rushed out the console. And they tried to tell their studios, rush out games, and none of the studios could pull it off. So they sold a console with no games. You know? But I feel Microsoft does know what they're doing long term with things like Game Pass, which should provide an outstanding long-term value. With things such as all the game studios that they've bought now that are developing games that are either going to be timed exclusives or for somehow better on the Xbox console, I totally feel that they will actually be able to compete this console gen, but it's a matter of time, all right? And that's the problem. Microsoft ran out of time. Sony played their hand masterfully. They released a console that runs everything beautifully. They released a console that had a slew of varied exclusives at launch. Like I said, in my opinion, the best launch lineup I've ever seen for a console. Yeah, they did it again. They destroyed Microsoft 2 console gens in a row at launch. Does that mean Microsoft will be the behind eternally? No, it does not mean that. Especially with the fact that they have all these game studios now making these titles exclusively for them. I do feel that they have a chance to catch up, if not surpass Sony. All right? The ball is now in their court. But let's see what happens. That's what I said. We're only now 3 weeks into this console gen. Why are people going so crazy? Oh my God. Games are performing 10-15% better on PS5. Big deal. The console gen just launched. You have to wait about a year to 2 years into a console life cycle is when you really start to see it hit its stride and understand what it's going to be able to do. So until these first-party studios now start pumping out games for the Xbox consoles, we cannot say that one company is going to be definitively in the lead over the other. We have to wait and see. All right? At least if you're intelligent. Jethro's main cheers to Sony's site seemed okay. You had to wait in a queue, and that's how I got mine. I took my time putting my info in and still got my PS5 through their site on pre-order for launch. It sounds like they did the right thing then. That's excellent. I'm glad to hear that. At least someone did something smart. Okay. Let's do some shout-outs now. Thank you so far to the top cheerers of the week. Keep in mind the week is still young. I still got 5 streaming days this week. But thank you to those who cheered this week so far. We got a tie for 9th place between Timbo Slice and Golden Colts. In 8th place, we got Psycho OC. 7th place is Mazer Gaming. 6th place, 50-Bit Bick. 5th place, Stinkin' Burrows. 4th place, Yoshino Lover. 3rd place, The Witness by Adam Jones. 2nd place, Rosina Flower. And in 1st place so far this week, Rob on Wheels. Thank you guys very much. Then, thank you to those who've gifted subscriptions so far this week, including Diocletian, Darkside Elon, Sir Spartan King, Overweight Guinea Pig, and McJuggernuggets 8, who all gifted a single subscription. Dr. Tony Huge and Internet Famous McCroy have each gifted 2 subs so far this week. And last night, dropping that sub bomb, we had Wig Jr., 20 gifted subscriptions to the channel so far this week. Thank you so much, Wig Jr., for that support. Also, shout out to Stinkin' Burrows, who just did a 50-bit cheer. Thank you very much, Stinkin' Burrows, for the 50-bit cheer this morning. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you so far for everyone. Rob on Wheels, current top cheerer. Technical 2070, current top tipper. If anyone else, any other topics or anything you want to talk, or shall we take a quick break for me to use the restroom and then jump into Yakuza 7? Did Kat beat Yakuza 7 as Beautiful Butterfly? No. She's playing a lot of it. In fact, surprisingly enough, okay, she is a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. She loves the franchise. She's playing Yakuza 7 way more than Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Every time I catch her playing, it seems like she's playing Yakuza 7. I'm like, wow, you really like this game? She's like, yeah, I want to keep, I really like to keep playing it. So she is actually taken in at how good Yakuza 7 is over Assassin's Creed, which is pretty crazy. So, but no, I think she's in like chapter 7 or 8. I'm only in chapter 5. So she's way ahead of me, but she's not even close to beating the game. The game has 15 chapters. So, Snorlax, cheers. To keep in mind of the Cyberpunk global release times, it won't be available to you until 4 p.m. Now, when you say that, 4 p.m. on release day, the 10th, so that would have to be my night stream then, right? It would have to be my night stream for Tuesday, if that's the case. Or is that confirmed that for PlayStation 5? Well, I guess it's really PS4 because there is no PS5 version. Is it confirmed for PS5 that it will only be at 4 p.m. in the USA? Because if that's the case, that's fine. We'll just do it as the night stream that day. I didn't take a look at the release times. I know that they did post up the worldwide map for it or whatever. So, West Side Rascal just cheered 100 bits. What do you know about Franz Liszt, the classical Hungarian composer? Let me tell you, Franz. I thought Franz. It was the homie. That guy was the most real motherfucker. He was so down to earth. He knew what he was doing, and he just spun the best symphonies. Of course. The fuck are you talking about? Okay. I've already spoken about this. Me, you, there, whatever. Me, here, you, there. I don't support content creators who bought multiple consoles to give away to their viewers. That's incredibly selfish. And you might be saying, I don't understand. How is that selfish? They bought things to give them away for free. They did. But they did it to look like good guys. They did it to say, oh, look, I like my viewer base so much, I'm giving away consoles randomly to my viewer base to help them out. That's great, but that benefits you in the long run because you're trying to make yourself look good. Oh, look at me, I like to give stuff away. Versus, people who sat for fucking days on end trying to buy it with their hard-earned money, who deserve to own that console and can't buy it because you're a greedy motherfucker who bought tons of them for yourselves to give them away to your viewers to benefit you. That's incredible selfishness. And I know there was a lot of content creators who tried to do this or did it, and it's fucked up. And anyone who did that, again, take a look at who you support and understand why they're doing that shit, right? Why did they do that? To benefit themselves. They want to look like good guy. Oh my God, I really helped out. When I bought the PlayStation 4, I bought 2 of them, all right? There was no shortage. If there was a shortage of PS4s and people were unable to get them, I would not have tried to get more than one. I'm not greedy. I don't need more than one. And it doesn't matter if you're buying it to resell it for personal gain or you're buying it to give it out so you look like a good guy, which is also personal gain. It's like I said, there's different ways to benefit from stuff. Not everyone who advertises someone is getting directly paid by a company, but obviously whether it's exposure, whether it's long-term getting free products behind the scenes, whatever it is, they're still benefiting from being a paid show. If someone's giving out their free consoles, they're benefiting from that. They're going to get more viewership. They're going to look like good people, and they think that long term this is benefiting their brand. They're not doing it because I actually care about the viewers, or because if they cared about their viewers, they would allow the fucking viewers to buy the console instead of buying 10 of them for their greedy selves. It's fucked up. It is very fucked up. Of course, trolls will have a field day with this stream. They're morons. They're not. Those idiots who spin everything I say negatively aren't actually capable of thinking outside the box for themselves. They just have to fucking go along with moronic things. So, of course, they'll say that everything I say is negative. And fuck off. Suck my dick. LP101 tipped me $1, so we'll be trying Temtem on PS5 on the 8th. It looks like Pokemon, but better. Temtem, many people are saying, is actually better than Pokemon. It's basically a Pokemon MMO. It's been on PC for quite some time now. But no, at this point, are you out of your mind? There's no way I can try that right now. I'm in the middle of 4 to 5 major games. We got Cyberpunk coming out next week. I'm about to start up with Sackboy. There's no way. Maybe long term I'll give it a look, but there's no way that I could play that right now. Okay. Night of the DSP Republic, cheers. So would you do a giveaway for a Christmas stream? Some shirts would be sweet. What shirts? I don't have any shirts. I don't own shirts that I can send to people. What are you talking about? It's not how it works. Teespring makes shirts per demand, per order. Anyway. All right, guys. All right, are we good? Any other questions, or are we good now? It seems like we're good. All right. Let's take a break. When I come back from this break, it's time for Yakuza 7, Like a Dragon, to continue. Like I said, I'm happy it's the major stream today, and we're going to have major progress. So, stick around. I'll see you in a few minutes. Go grab a drink, grab a snack, use the restroom yourself. I'll be back, and then it's time for Yakuza.